What's up, Jatim?
Oh, nothing much. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here?
Happy to be here.
How was your week?
Oh, it's been interesting. A lot of ups and downs in the news.
Yeah.
So it's been a sight to see.
Did you do anything fun? Did you go on your weekly bike ride?
Yeah, I think I went on a couple bike rides this week. Oh, funny story. I went on a bike ride last night and ran into a crowd of people like at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. The only thing I could compare it to was Freaknik.
Really?
It was like everybody's dressed up. It was like it was like homecoming.
Yeah, they just didn't care.
No fucks given. And like the police were there, and they're just kind of standing around, their hands in their pockets, like
did you?
They can't really do much.
Did you say hi to anybody?
I didn't know anybody. It was a different crowd of young black people that I would say aren't like the bougie college crowd.
Oh, there.
Yeah, it was like the Baltimore crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Were you by yourself?
No, I went with a friend. We were both like, whoa, we're not walking through that crowd. No mask, no social distancing. And it has me feeling a little confused about what's going on. I think we're in stage 2, but I don't really know what that means.
I thought we were still in phase 1.
I think we're in stage 2.
Really?
Where like stores are opening.
Yeah, but like, at least from what I knew, I thought that phase 1 was certain stores, then phase 2 was like.
See, I'm confused. I don't know.
Like a little bit more, but only if the numbers are going down. Then.
I definitely heard it was stage 2 today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really stopped paying attention to the news. For real, I get my news from Facebook or Instagram.
I think you should choose at least one news source that you trust.
The news is just so negative though. I don't want.
It is.
I don't want all that negative stuff. And then, I was talking to my friend about this today, even though this is kind of off subject a little bit, but like the with the coronavirus thing, whatever, right? Like I'm trying to tell him that the news is only reporting the negative stuff because the negative stuff sells, whatever, right? And everyone's gonna look at it, but like more people are gonna get the coronavirus and get well from it, than pass away.
But I don't think that negates the disproportionate amount of people that will die from it that could have been prevented.
Well, like what's the preventative though? Like
the preventative is social distancing, is not opening restaurants quite yet, is protecting people who have to work in these restaurants. I think this is all happening too soon. We're probably going to see a spike.
I mean,
and they're probably going to shut everything down. We're going to get back at square one.
But like, regardless, I mean, they were still anticipating a spike in October, anyways, though.
Well, it's going to be worse if they're loosening restrictions.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, to me, it just feels like. I mean, I don't even know what to
just keep living your life.
Yeah, like only thing I could do was just do
survive.
Whatever,
make the best out of it. But I have sympathy, and I try to keep a sensitivity to people that are going to be disproportionately affected by it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like once they found out it wasn't really affecting the mainstream, i.e. white people. That's when things kind of changed. Things kind of loosened up, and it became more about the economy than people dying.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think that they want to open now, because it's a money grab, and companies are gonna the economy is gonna crash if or the economy can be closed the whole year, which is what it was looking like at first.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they have to open up at some point, but there's still no telling when, or there's no right time to open.
Oh, there is a right time to open, and that's when the spike plateaus, and it's just like a consistent rate when it's not going up and up. And I'm not sure if it plateaued. Guess what? Also, other countries that moved on to phase 2, guess what happened? The ones that were ahead of us?
Well, they shut back down?
Yeah, because it was a spike. Like Korea, I believe. I'm not sure about Vietnam. But all the country that was like one step ahead of us, where we were watching them on the news like, damn.
I remember talking about Italy.
They opened back up. I think, from what I hear, every country that has opened back up after this being in the stage that we were in, they saw a spike and they had to shut things down again.
Oh, they still shut down?
I don't know. As far as I know, when someone told me that, it wasn't that long ago. Someone told me this like a week ago. I gotta do my research. It's a lot to keep up with.
That's a whole lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Well, my week it's kind of interesting. My birthday was on Tuesday, and same day, like I broke up with my girlfriend on my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that conscious?
Like there was a variable in there, because if it wasn't my birthday, it was gonna be the next day. But I called audible at like the last second, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna do it now then.
Audible?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like I had plans to do it the next day, and then something happened towards the end of the night where she would just drop me off, just drop me off at home.
Okay.
I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it now then.
Okay.
Yeah. So called audible on play.
What does that mean?
It's like it's a football term.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, audible means like you just change the play.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in football. But other than that, I mean that kind of fucked me up for a couple of days.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, kind of like I was down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I'm back now. I'm still kind of like a little.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
Most people it takes a while.
Still kind of like
processing.
Yeah, like now like I don't want to like be jaded towards like all women and whatever.
Oh, don't be.
But I think I'm good though. But other than that, yeah, I was just trying to work this week and get my mind off of it. But other than that, that was the eventfulness of my week. So you had a joke that you wanted to tell.
Oh, it's kind of a dark joke, so.
I mean, hey, that's.
Bear with me.
That's fine.
But for some reason, it came to me that herpes and racism have a lot in common. So Roger, what are those things that you think they have in common?
Like, you just can't seem to get rid of it.
What else?
There's a joke in there, wasn't it? It's like something about
I think I named 2 or 3 things.
Something about being bumpy.
No.
Oh, okay.
So, I think I'm not delivering this joke. I should have practiced, but I think it's interesting. But anyways, herpes and racism, they're both things that are stigmatized, and it's almost in a way like we don't talk about it, but everybody's affected by it. So I didn't learn until I was in grad school. Okay, I didn't learn until I was in grad school that like 90% of people carry the herpes virus. And there's just different types of herpes viruses. There's like HSV1, HSV2. Like one of those affects your genitals, the other is just like cold sores.
Yeah.
And something like the majority of people are affected by it. But when you say oh, I have a cold sore, da da da. Oh, you know, it's just herpes. People be like, because we don't have like a full understanding of how much we're affected by it. And I kind of feel like that's what the same thing with racism. It's just like people are so shocked by certain things and they don't want to talk about racism. But here it is. And it just keeps on coming back.
I know. Yeah. I just can't seem to get rid of it. But now
that was the third thing. I can't get rid of it.
Did you write that joke yourself?
Yeah.
You wrote it yourself? Can I use that joke?
Oh God, Roger. I don't know. I felt good about that. You can use it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you can use it.
Cause I don't want.
But if it blows you up, give me some credit.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying my friend wrote that joke for me. Cause I mean, you know, professional comedians, they have writers.
Okay.
So I'm just asking, like.
Okay. I'm gonna start writing these things down.
If that joke, like, I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna work that joke into like another joke. Mm-hmm. I have an idea of how I want to work it in or whatever. But I think.
Yeah, you can have it.
Yeah, I think that's why I said, you just can't get rid of it. Can't seem to get rid of it or whatever.
Can't get rid of it.
Or it just won't go away.
Contagious.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. A lot of similarities.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that one. And
it's latent. It's painful.
Oh man! See, keep going. I'm gonna come back to you with be like, okay, just tell me, how was racism like herpes again? And then I'm gonna literally write everything down.
Okay.
Because that's called tagging the joke. So you have a punchline, right?
Okay.
So whatever the main punchline is,
okay.
whatever, then you just keep tagging the joke with other punchlines.
Oh.
So you can say, oh yeah, so what's the difference between racism and herpes? And then someone like, I don't know, you just can't seem to get rid of it, and you go, ha 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 ha, whatever, they're laughing, and it's painful, and you just keep adding.
Oh, that's the structure of a joke.
Yeah,
nice.
That's called tagging the joke. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but after that, guys, we'll be back because I want to talk about this lady. I'm gonna call her lady. Named Candace Owens. For a second, we probably won't touch on this for very long, but she, to me, is along the same lines as the comedian I was talking about, Terrence K. Williams.
Maybe worse.
Yeah,
she's an actual politician, I believe.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. Alright, guys, so I wanted to talk about one thing real quick, and Tim, you can chime in if you want to. But I saw a video of, and I never heard of her before this video, right? But I saw this video of this young lady, and her name was Candace Owens. And she said she went off on how she doesn't support George Floyd. Whatever, and she's talking about how he wasn't a martyr, he was a criminal, he was a thug. And then she went on to say that black people, when things like this happen, we glorify criminals. Which is the dumbest shit that I've heard all week. One, black people don't glorify criminals. Like, if you broke the law, then you're gonna live with consequences or whatever. It's like, we understand that. However, what we don't understand is like being killed at the hands of the police for no reason. Like that's why this whole shit started or whatever. It's like we're not saying he was a criminal or whatever, so you should let him go. Like nobody said that, Candace. Like we're in an uproar because he was killed by the police for no reason when he was already handcuffed and the officer's knee was on his neck. And then things like this keep happening where people are unarmed, doing nothing. Like whether they broke the law or not, we're not even talking about them breaking the law. We're talking about them being killed for no reason. That's what this whole movement is about. So I don't know where you're getting your facts from, but you sound stupid. You tell me what you want to say.
Personally, I don't give energy to people like Candace Owens. They're like low on my list of concerns, even though I do know they have an audience, especially of white people who use her as a reason to, basically support their views.
Yeah.
Their racist views or whatever. But one thing I did find interesting, I came across a video of hers on Facebook. White people were commenting and they were against her. But they were saying like borderline racist things
to her.
That it was either racist or sexist. It was like a combination of racism and sexism. It was like, get this bitch out of here. Yeah. And it was just like, they were making comments about her race that were not their place to say.
Right.
It was racially tinged. But they were on our side. They were saying she's racist, but they were using racially tinged and sexist language to put her down. I thought that was interesting.
I'm not condoning that. But, like, for real, like, it sounds like she, like, I don't know what she's watching or how she grew up or, like, what her views are or whatever, but it's like, she needs a wake-up call or something. Like, she's the type of person.
Wake-up call? She's in her 30s.
She might be a late bloomer. Like, whatever it is. Like, me and you, like, we grew up around all white people. For the most part. Like I wasn't around black people until I went to college. And I don't even comprehend how
that's how easy it is.
How she thinks like that, though.
It's seductive to think that way because that's like the ideology of power. And obviously she's had connections to white people for a long time. And she's kind of used that, I think, as a social capital. You can move really quickly in your political career if you choose that route. Yeah.
If you're a Republican?
Yeah, and they'll tell you that. They're like, if you want to go far quickly, come be a Republican.
So she's the token black girl, and
and there's many.
And for her colleagues.
There are many, and they probably love her.
Yeah.
I only get a glimpse of that world when I go online. And I read the stuff that they write, and they're not bashing her because she's black saying it. They're like, "Thank you, you're such a good woman. Thank you."
Like she's in the same boat as a Terrence K. Williams. Like these both of them support Trump. Why, I have no idea. When you can see like the dumb shit that he says, like he just sounds dumb, and they sound dumb too for wanting to support this guy, but. That both of them are the type of people that if they got pulled over by the police and it was obviously for race, they will be the ones to say, "Oh, he was just doing his job." It's like he literally just said.
There's always gonna be people like that.
So, but you're right. She's in her 30s, whatever. She's probably a lost cause now. We probably just gotta charge her to the game. I don't know what that means. I just felt like saying it. But
I know what it means. It's actually perfect. Ignore her. But move on. It's the ideology behind her that concerns me.
Yeah.
The fact that there are masses of people who believe everything she's saying.
But they're all white people though.
Mostly white people.
Like how can you listen to her and just think that?
I came across a video of Diamond and Silk on YouTube. I was watching something really dumb. Sometimes I go down rabbit holes on YouTube that I have no business going down. And you could tell they were catering the commercials for dumbass, I'm sorry, but like black people who aren't really thinking.
Yeah.
So it's Diamond and Silk, and like they were like a cartoon, the way they were acting. Even like the way they presented themselves. Like, if you want to talk to dope, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, vote for Donald Trump. It was like blackface. It was like a minstrel. It was very minstrel-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I just don't understand how they could find people like that. I just can't believe people exist like that.
Yeah, they'll just sell out like that.
Every spectrum of crazy exists in the world. It's just a reminder of that, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't know, like just I feel like even being in that and like all the people that we grew up with, right? Like all the black people that lived in Midland. Like I don't think any of them think like that though. I don't think anyone does.
Not that extreme.
Yeah, like not that extreme, and they're not gonna be that vocal about it, but. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Like I feel like when things like this happen, like people like her and Terrence K. Williams, like they focus on the wrong thing of what, like if a video was put out, oh my goodness, he was a criminal. Like what are you talking about right now? It's like that, like that's not what we're talking about. Like no one said anything about him being a criminal. Like if he's a criminal, yeah, obviously he was about to go to jail because the cops were called on him. And then what Terrence said was in the video where Central Park Karen called the police on the bird watcher. The only thing he said about the video was, "I can't believe that she would treat her dog that way."
Yeah.
Like that's not the point of the video. What are you looking at?
That shows that you can have a white perspective, you can have a white mind, and I think it's actually the default because of our culture. Like that's how we initially see the world, and it can grow, or you can starve it and go the other direction. But yeah, I'm not surprised.
And especially like them just being black though, I'm sure they've experienced racism.
I'm sure they saw it as an isolated incident.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
If they did.
But I'm sure they experienced racism.
Because the most insidious racism that you can experience is the kind where you're not even sure. I think a lot of times, if someone's being racist towards you, sometimes you don't know. It's not always like nigger, it's not always in your face.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's like subtle ignoring, subtle exclusion.
But even so, it's like, so whether if that's the case or not with them, I just feel like stuff that's going on is very blatant. It's like you can see the video, whatever. It's like you don't have to be there. You can just watch what's going on.
What white people are thinking is, oh, what are they not showing us in the video? He was probably being violent, you know.
Like
he's got a record. He has a record of selling cocaine. He's a bad person, you know.
We're not and then I don't know why they do that or whatever. It's like that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about what's going on right now. We're not talking about he sold cocaine.
When you're black, you don't get a trial. It's like you do something and the police react to it, you deserved it.
And then it's like, oh well, I can see why the police killed him because he dealt drugs.
Yeah.
Like that.
People think like that. And that's racism.
Yeah, people.
Because they wouldn't apply that same standard to someone else.
Right.
And then, comparing Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
Where he murdered a church of people.
Yeah.
And they picked him up and let him get a hamburger. You remember that?
Yeah. There was another video where somebody next to him somebody put a meme up of he killed 9 people or whatever it was, and there was another white guy that killed a certain amount of people, and they both were standing up or whatever, and the police walked them to the car or whatever, and then where is George Floyd and other people, there was George Floyd and somebody else. I can't remember the other person that was in the other picture, but George Floyd is on the ground, and I don't think he was resisting.
I haven't watched it. I
don't think he was resisting, but what I don't get is like the police officer. I saw part of the tape, but the police officer was on his neck, whatever, and there was a black dude and a white guy. There was a black dude and a white lady saying, get off his neck, whatever. He's not even moving right now. Why he's on his neck?
And if you notice, the people that put him in the ambulance were the police. Police got out of the ambulance. So they knew he was dead, and that ain't the first time they've done that. That looked like a procedure. The ambulance did not pick him up. Police did. They were uniformed police with gloves on.
And they picked him up.
Picked him up and put him in the ambulance. And I'm pretty sure they knew he was dead at that point.
Yeah.
They didn't care. Yep. It's time to change.
Yep.
And we're waking up. There are a lot of things that we do as a culture that are outdated. I'm constantly reassessing and wondering, like.
Are you talking about black people, or are you talking about like America?
Mainstream, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
The school system's probably outdated.
Yeah, I think the whole like the justice system is definitely outdated.
Not only outdated, but corrupt.
Yeah, very corrupt, and like things take too long to happen in like legally. It takes a long time to pass a new piece of legislation. And then legislation, it has to go through so many people, and then if like one person says, "Oh no, I don't agree with that," then it's like you start over again. But did you go to the Black Lives Matter rally?
I just got back today.
You did? Okay. Were there a lot of people out there when you went?
Somewhat. It wasn't rowdy or anything, but I did see some stuff, and I posted pictures of it that got burnt. Like, I was like, first I walked right past it, I thought it was like art or something, but they were actually, I believe, like restaurant tables, and they were fried.
For real?
Yeah. And then the fence to the White House, I saw that today, but I didn't even know it was the fence in front of the White House. They covered it with all these different posters saying all this like radical stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think that, I was telling my friend this, that, like, basically, Muriel putting painting Black Lives Matter on the street and then naming it Black Lives Matter Boulevard.
Yeah.
Like that was basically saying Trump, fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think the whole city was like yeah, hell yeah.
But people are criticizing that, saying that they want to see policy that aligns with that performance, like.
Right, I mean,
be like,
but
okay, how does this translate to real life?
But I mean, it still takes a long time for policy to change.
We'll see. Not necessarily. You see how quick Trump is like censoring Facebook?
Yeah.
Or social media? What else has he done that's just like a dictator? Oh, did you hear about you didn't hear about this because you haven't been watching the news. Maybe you saw it on Facebook. But there's these uniformed men patrolling DC, and they're not the police, and they're basically, Russia does the same thing.
Like they're undercover?
In a way. No one knows, but it's like an example of fascism that has been seen before, not even that long ago. Like you just can't have, if it's not the FBI, it's not the police, who are they? That is wild. And he's censoring social media? Dictator!
Bro, and he's probably censoring social media because he doesn't want all this footage to get out.
And the fact that Mark Zuckerberg, did you hear about that?
Like,
Mark Zuckerberg said it's not social media's place to filter fake news. Yeah. It's not social media's place to stay out, to be involved in politics. Yeah. So at first, Facebook was left-leaning. They were pulling a lot of articles that were biased and lies and racist and fucked up. But so now, Trump convinced him not to do that. He had a meeting with Trump, and now he's like, I gotta get off Facebook. Like, yeah, I certainly don't trust Mark Zuckerberg anymore. Not that I ever did, but that
I heard, is kind of. I saw an article where some of his employees got up and walked out or something like that.
Yes, yeah. So his employees, I think, wrote about it. Like the fact that Facebook employees would be up in arms about it. At first, I thought it would just be us.
Yeah.
But man, this is like a science fiction story. It really is.
Yeah,
this is a story.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
But in lighter news, I wanted to just touch on real quick that I'm surprised that Midland, where we grew up, had a Black Lives Matter rally. I guess for lack of a better term, or whatever. It's like they were protesting. There had to be at least. I saw somebody put on Facebook. There were at least probably 3,000 people out there.
Really?
Yeah, somebody said like 3,000.
And also, me and Roger just turned on the video before we started recording, and they weren't just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like
they were passionate.
Yeah, they were chanting and everything. And when I tell you, like, we went to Midland, Michigan, was very white. Like there was a handful of black people there.
Have you ever heard of a white enclave?
No.
Midland was a white enclave, so they're everywhere. It's basically like at some point there were majority white people in Saginaw.
Uh-huh.
And when black people started coming in, they moved out to enclaves like Midland. So that's why Midland was able to keep such a high percentage of white people. It was like a safe place for them. Now, how they went about doing that is interesting. I'm not quite sure, but I think a lot of it has to do with real estate. So my grandfather tried to buy a house in Midland at one point, maybe like in the 70s or something, and they wouldn't lend him.
Really?
Oh, no. And it was very clear that it was about racism. But my dad didn't have any issues getting a house, and I think it's because he went to like a military college or something like that. Like my dad presents differently than my grandfather. My grandfather was like real country black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my dad is like Brian Gumble.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're like, we'll take your kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Midland is a white enclave.
Yeah, like so, and then just to give you guys some perspective, it's like there were less than 1% of black people in Midland, like less than 1%. So just the fact that, like it didn't even register in my head that
it was normal
that they would protest.
Oh.
At all.
I was curious to know. I didn't think they would. And I still am friends with a lot of people from Midland who are crickets, not saying anything.
Yeah.
Still haven't said anything.
I mean, because like it's almost like people don't know what to say. It's like, but you would.
But come on, like
I know.
Like this thing I just posted. Why is racism a debate?
Yeah.
Why is ending racism a debate? If you don't know what to say, it's
yeah.
probably because you're racist.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, actually. And I might have to write that down too. Like, why is racism a debate?
That's why they're uncomfortable, because they're like, but I don't believe that they're equal. I don't know.
Oh, and then I heard this lady on the radio say something about like basically everything black people learned from white people, or I mean basically everything black people learned was from white people.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to think of the examples that she used, whatever.
Well, yeah,
like,
history is taught from their perspective because they wrote it.
Yeah, like killing and
we weren't in a position to speak up and alter.
So, but I wanted to take that a step further. Even say is like I know some white people will say that black people are racist, but we learned that from them though. Right? So, and then I just say that to say is like when I got in that argument last week or 2 weeks ago on Facebook, like the guy that I was debating with called me racist.
Why? Because you were talking about racism?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Like, I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? It was like you, and I said, you defending racism as being racist. Like, you can obviously, like, you even said yourself, yeah, that lady was completely wrong.
Roger, you do not have to interact with these people.
No, you're right, but I mean, I was bored and so it was something.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But and then this guy, he only comments on my stuff if it's like political. Like anything else I post on Facebook, which I don't post a lot, but anything else that I post, he has nothing to say. But all of a sudden he feels the need, like if I mention Trump, say something about Trump, whatever, he feels the need to comment now. And now correct me if I'm wrong, but like Midland is Republican, right? It's very Republican.
Very.
So which it doesn't make sense why there were so many people out there that were protesting to me.
That's a good point, but not everybody was Republican.
Yeah.
But I think some Republican people might have gotten turned out. We'll see.
I mean, probably. I mean, there's 3,000 people out there.
That's a good question to ask somebody. Like, do you think the majority of people that were out there were Republican? I'm gonna ask Derek because he was there.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Should ask him. But that's the end of this segment. Next, I guess we're gonna do Tim's talk. Do you have a talk?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay, so my message for my talk this weekend, or this week, Tim's talk, if I could say one thing to the world right now, this is what it would be. Do not limit your imagination about what is possible in terms of eradicating racism. Like I was saying with the joke, I'm moving really towards believing that it's not something that is ever going to fully go away, but it needs to be mitigated. Like, it needs to be managed. Like, it needs to be held in check. It needs to be kept in check.
Yeah.
So I came across some really good stuff online. One was like a graph that showed how money is distributed on average in a city like Baltimore. Yeah. And the majority was policing. It was more than half. And then it was like education, social services. So I think it starts there, because the reason that is because people see crime as being the biggest threat to stability or public health, whatever. And so they think the only way to address crime is with force and by policing. But you can prevent crime by, a lot of people commit crimes because they're in vulnerable situations where times are tough. You know what I mean? So they have to resort. So how about improving education so people are qualified to get jobs? You know, so that's part of it. But also, I'm going to try to pull it up. I think we need to rethink certain types of social services. Like, I don't think police should be over homelessness. And I read somewhere that they're thinking about transferring that over to, like, social services. But for some reason, police, there's they've been the primary point of contact.
Why does the homeless community need to,
Because they're criminalized. They're criminalized. People with mental health issues are criminalized. They're immediately seen as a threat. And a lot of those issues get mishandled. But I think there's going to be jobs created to support these problems we have without resorting to the police. And I'm going to read this because this is where I got the inspiration. For example, some folks are sleeping on benches in the park. Imagine a city employee comes by and checks in to see if they need a place to sleep, food, water, health, or care. An hour later, those who want a different place to sleep have one. Isn't that public safety? Someone is behaving erratically and in harm's way. Imagine texting a number and an unarmed urgent responder trained in behavioral mental health comes within 5 minutes. An hour later, that person is safe and getting the support they need. Isn't that public safety? Like, these are all things police respond to. Yeah. And imagine having like a professional person who's trained to handle these situations. Yeah. This is the last one I'm going to share, but this meme is great. You don't realize it, but your brake lights aren't working. Imagine a city employee signals for you to pull over and says, "Hey, how about I replace those lights for you right here so no one gets hurt?" An hour later, both lights work and you're at home. Isn't that public safety? So, like, these are really creative ideas. Yeah. And I think people will push back on that by saying that, oh, you know, pie in the sky, you know.
Yeah. Which I think police, like, whether your tail light is broken or not, like, I mean, they could just, like, police use it as a way to pull you over to see what else is going on in the car.
Yeah. Like, they're just very negative. Like, they're very, very, very negative. Like, they become more of a menace than a help. So, yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds. Like, at one point, we didn't even have weekends. Weekends were considered like a socialist concept. It really comes from socialism. And now it's become it didn't start off that way. There's been a lot of work put into like creating fair work opportunities for people, fair and safe. And it still sucks. Like, most people are still being overworked and not getting fair compensation. So yeah, we have to check ourselves as human beings.
Like, I think a lot of things are going to change after, like, once we're in the clear.
What do you mean by after the pandemic?
Yeah, well, after the pandemic is over, really. So I guess we're probably looking at 2021. Like it's probably gonna look completely different than 2020 did.
I'm excited.
Whatever happens.
I just feel like we have a lot of momentum right now,
more
than we've ever had since I've been alive in terms of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna help. It's a war. Like it feels like a battle. Because as many white people as you see protesting, just as many, I believe, are on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's my talk.
All right, and we'll be back with the positive thoughts. All right, guys. Before we wrap up the show, I just wanted to say that be thankful for what you have, and you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. And that was from Oprah. But I actually like that quote though, and I actually just found it just right now. Connect that to the time you're living in now. Because I think we talked about this before. Elaborate, please. I'm just saying, make it relevant for the conversation we've had. Oh, okay. You don't have to. I think it's something that applies just generally. I think that's general. Just because there's a lot going on, whatever. I kind of want to end on a lighter note. Yeah. End on a lighter note. Oh, yeah, that's great. And that's one thing I appreciate about this show. Yeah. And honestly, comedy in general, like laughter is healing. It just puts you in a totally different mindset and space. But I'm definitely gonna work on that herpes racist joke. I can't wait to see you deliver it. I can't believe no one else has thought of that. Yeah, like whatever you think of, just write that down. Because I am gonna work on that. Okay. I might have some others in my phone. But hopefully, if things start to open back up, whatever, I'll be able to go on stage and try it soon. Oh, and if you know of any open mics in Baltimore. Oh, definitely. There's like a whole comedy scene here. Is that? It's dope. They get some really great people to come here. I don't know about the local talent. I've been to some excellent comedy shows. I've been to Magooby's Joke House, which is, I think that's Timonium, I think. I haven't heard of it. Yeah, I went and saw, who did I see? I saw Jim Norton, I think. That's who I saw that. Yeah, I don't know the comedy scene. No, he's like a professional comedian though. He's not like local. I think he's based out in New York. But yeah, and then I feel like doing this podcast, it's kind of like a lot of comedians have podcasts. All right, so I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with that. You're doing a lot, Roger. Yeah, I'm doing a lot. Which I'm trying to, which is why I'm so slow on the editing, whatever. But so I'm trying to get better with editing. But I'm trying not to narrow shit down, whatever. It's I know I can't do everything. Yeah. So I'm really just trying to find something that's gonna stick. So I think doing comedy is probably the most consistent thing that I've done in a while. Really? Yeah, because I started doing this since 2017. 2017, so 3 years now. They say it takes 10 years to get real good. But I'm trying to hope. I just need to do it more, whatever. I'm trying to condense time frames, because I don't really want to take 10 years. But I guess it'll take however long it takes, though. I guess till I get really good. But ideally, I really just want to produce TV shows for real. Is what I want to do. That's dope. I've been thinking about comedy and writing since I've been doing this with you. You should write. And I do. I want to. Writers make a lot of money. I heard. Writers make a lot of money. But I like the idea of I think there's a high you get when you can make a whole crowd of people laugh. Yeah, or just even be on the same wavelength as them. Yeah. To be able to connect with that many people at once. That's an amazing experience. Yeah. Yeah. And I can see why. I even heard Robin Williams, that's one of the reasons he had depression, because he was chasing that high. I mean, I don't know, it's like a drug. Really? Yeah. I want to try it. I think I want to try it. No, you should. you should try stand-up. Just try it one day. Like I'll help you work on your bit or like your 5 minutes of whatever, and then we'll go the same day.
I'm down.
Whenever shit opens or whatever, we just try it.
I'm down.
I mean, we're saying it's gonna happen. It's like no one's gonna laugh, and it's like fuck.
I know.
I mean, it is awkward when nobody laughs, but it's like you're trying to.
It's like the
laugh.
process.
Yeah, but you just gotta keep doing it. But guys, with that said, we'll be back next week with episode 12. This is the Dry Cereal Podcast.